Hello, this is Frank, and we're now moving on to the Class D Knowledge Exam Minnesota. This test is designed for individuals seeking to obtain their standard driver's license in Minnesota. It covers essential road rules, traffic signs, safe driving practices, and state-specific laws you'll need to know to drive safely and legally on Minnesota roads. Let's get straight into the questions. When must you yield to pedestrians at an intersection without signals? Always when they are in a marked or unmarked crosswalk. This is a fundamental safety rule. Pedestrians have the right-of-way in crosswalks whether they're painted or not, and drivers must always be prepared to stop for them. Moving on. At a four-way stop when two vehicles arrive at the same time, who goes first? The driver on the right. This is known as the right-of-way rule, and helps prevent confusion at intersections by establishing a clear order of who proceeds first. Next question. When should you use high beam headlights? On open roads at night with no oncoming or leading traffic. High beams provide maximum visibility in dark conditions, but you must be considerate of other drivers to avoid blinding them. Let's continue. When must you dim your high beams? Within 1,000 feet of oncoming traffic or 200 feet when following. These specific distances give you enough time to switch to low beams and prevent temporarily blinding other drivers, which could cause an accident. Time for the next question. What does a solid yellow line on your side of the center mean? No passing permitted. The solid yellow line indicates it's unsafe to pass due to limited visibility or other hazards, and crossing it to pass is illegal. Next up, two solid yellow center lines mean do not pass and do not cross except to turn left. This double solid yellow creates a barrier that you can only legally cross when making a left turn into a driveway or side street. Let's see what's next. What is the basic speed law in Minnesota? Never drive faster than is safe for conditions. This means even if you're driving at or below the posted speed limit, you could still be cited if conditions like weather, traffic, or visibility make that speed unsafe. Here's another one. What is the per se BAC limit for drivers age 21 and older? 0.08. At this blood alcohol concentration level, you are legally considered impaired and will face DUI charges regardless of how well you think you're driving. Continuing on. For drivers under 21, what alcohol level is legal? Any detectable alcohol is illegal. Minnesota has a zero-tolerance policy for underage drinking and driving, meaning even the smallest amount of alcohol can result in serious consequences. Moving on. When a school bus has flashing red lights and an extended stop arm, you must stop at least 20 feet away. This distance provides a safety buffer for children who may be crossing the street and ensures you have room to stop without endangering students. Next question. On a divided highway with a physical median when a school bus flashes red lights? Traffic traveling the opposite direction does not need to stop. The physical barrier provides protection for students, so only traffic on the same side as the bus must stop. Let's continue. How far before a turn must you signal in urban areas? At least 100 feet. This gives other drivers and pedestrians adequate warning of your intentions, allowing them to adjust their speed or position accordingly. Time for the next question. Before changing lanes, what is the last thing you should do? Quickly check your blind spot over your shoulder. This final glance catches vehicles that your mirrors might miss, preventing dangerous lane change collisions. Next up, right turns on red are permitted when? After a complete stop and when no sign prohibits and it is safe. You must treat the red light like a stop sign, coming to a full stop and yielding to all traffic and pedestrians before proceeding. Let's see what's next. Left turn on red from a one-way to a one-way is allowed after a full stop unless prohibited by sign. This is a lesser-known rule that applies only when turning from one one-way street onto another one-way street going left. Here's another one. When approaching a roundabout, you should yield to traffic in the circle and to pedestrians. Traffic already in the roundabout has the right-of-way, and you must wait for a safe gap before entering. Continuing on. What does the move over law require when passing a stopped emergency vehicle with flashing lights? Move over a lane or slow to a safe speed if you cannot move. This law protects emergency workers and roadside assistance personnel from being struck by passing vehicles. Moving on. What is a good following distance in ideal conditions? Use the 3-second rule. Pick a fixed point ahead, and when the car in front passes it, count 3 seconds. You shouldn't reach that point before finishing your count. Next question. At about what speed can a vehicle begin to hydroplane on wet roads? Around 35 miles per hour. At this relatively low speed, water can build up under your tires faster than it can be pushed away, causing you to lose traction. Let's continue. If your vehicle begins to skid, you should ease off the accelerator and steer in the direction you want to go. This technique, called steering into the skid, helps you regain control without overcorrecting. Time for the next question. How should you brake in an emergency with ABS? Apply firm, steady pressure and steer. Anti-lock brakes prevent wheel lockup automatically, so pumping them actually reduces their effectiveness. Next up, when must you use headlights? From sunset to sunrise and when visibility is poor. This includes times when weather conditions like rain, snow, or fog reduce visibility, even during daylight hours. Let's see what's next. In fog, rain, or snow, you should use low beam headlights. High beams reflect off precipitation and create a white wall effect that actually reduces your visibility. Here's another one. When turning left at an intersection, you must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Left turns cross the path of oncoming vehicles, making them one of the most dangerous maneuvers, so you must wait for a safe gap. Continuing on. How should a seat belt be worn? Lap belt low and snug on hips with shoulder belt across chest. This positioning ensures the belt restrains you at your body's strongest points during a crash. Moving on. Child restraint requirement in Minnesota? Children under 8 and under 4 feet 9 inches must be in an approved restraint. This law ensures children are properly protected based on their size and development, not just their age. Next question. When passing a bicycle, you must leave at least 3 feet of clearance. This buffer zone protects cyclists from being knocked off balance by the wind from your vehicle and gives them room to maneuver. Let's continue. When sharing the road with motorcycles? Allow a full lane and increase following distance. Motorcycles are entitled to the full width of a lane and need extra following distance because they can stop more quickly than cars. Time for the next question. When parking uphill with a curb, you should turn wheels away from the curb and set the parking brake. If your brakes fail, the car will roll backward into the curb rather than into traffic. Next up, when parking downhill with or without a curb, you should turn wheels toward the curb or road edge and set the brake. This ensures your vehicle will roll away from traffic if the parking brake fails. Let's see what's next. Which location is illegal for parking? Within 30 feet of a stop sign. Parking too close to traffic control devices blocks visibility for other drivers and creates dangerous conditions. Here's another one. You must not pass another vehicle? When approaching a hill or curve with limited sight distance, you need clear visibility of oncoming traffic to pass safely, and these situations don't provide adequate sight lines. Continuing on. Passing on the right is permitted? When the vehicle ahead is turning left and there is room on the paved roadway. This exception allows traffic to continue flowing when a vehicle is waiting to turn left. Moving on. If a tire blows out, you should grip the wheel firmly, ease off the gas, and avoid hard braking. Sudden movements or hard braking can cause you to lose control, so gradual deceleration is safest. Next question. Large trucks and buses have large blind spots and need more stopping distance. Their size and weight create visibility challenges and physics limitations that require extra caution from other drivers. Let's continue. When entering a freeway from an on-ramp, you should use the acceleration lane to match speed and yield to freeway traffic. Merging at the same speed as traffic makes the merge smoother and safer for everyone. Time for the next question. If you miss your freeway exit, you should continue to the next exit. Stopping or backing up on a freeway is extremely dangerous and illegal. The few extra minutes to the next exit are worth your safety. Next up, use a two-way left turn lane for preparing for or completing a left turn only. These center lanes are not for passing or through travel, only for making left turns in either direction. Let's see what's next. At a railroad crossing with flashing signals or lowered gates, you must stop and do not proceed until the signals stop and gates rise. Trains cannot stop quickly, and attempting to beat them or go around gates is often fatal. Here's another one. Which factors increase stopping distance? Speed, vehicle condition, and road surface. Higher speeds, worn brakes or tires, and wet or icy roads all require more distance to stop safely. Continuing on. In work zones, you should slow down, obey signs, and follow flagger instructions. Construction zones have changing conditions and workers present, requiring extra attention and reduced speeds. Moving on. A green arrow for a left turn means you may turn left and oncoming traffic is stopped but yield to pedestrians. The green arrow gives you a protected turn, but pedestrians in the crosswalk still have the right of way. Next question. A flashing red traffic signal means Stop and proceed when clear. You must treat a flashing red light exactly like a stop sign, coming to a complete stop before proceeding. Let's continue. A flashing yellow arrow for a left turn means? Turn left with caution and yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. This newer signal indicates a permissive left turn where you must judge the safety of the gap yourself. Time for the next question. If your vehicle begins to hydroplane, you should ease off the accelerator and steer straight until traction returns. Sudden movements while hydroplaning can cause a complete loss of control, so gentle actions are key. Next up, if your brakes fail while driving, you should pump the brakes downshift and use the parking brake gradually. These actions can help build brake pressure, slow the vehicle through engine braking, and provide emergency stopping power. Let's see what's next. To reduce headlight glare from oncoming vehicles, look to the right edge of your lane and do not stare at the lights. This technique maintains your lane position while protecting your night vision from being compromised. Here's another one. When must you stop for a pedestrian in a crosswalk? Always when the pedestrian is in your lane or the adjacent lane. This ensures pedestrians have safe passage across the entire width they need to cross. Continuing on. Why do bridges and overpasses freeze before the roadway? They are exposed to cold air above and below. This double exposure causes them to lose heat more quickly than regular road surfaces that have earth insulation below. Moving on. After a crash, you should stop, call 911 if needed, move vehicles out of traffic if possible, and exchange information. These steps ensure everyone's safety, get help for injuries, and comply with legal requirements for reporting accidents. Next question. What does a yellow diamond sign with a black cross indicate? Crossroad ahead. This warning sign alerts you to an upcoming intersection where cross traffic may enter your path. Let's continue. What does a red and white triangular sign indicate? Yield. The unique triangular shape can be recognized even if the sign is obscured, telling you to slow down and give right-of-way to other traffic. Time for the next question. What does a yellow pennant-shaped sign on the left side of the road mean? No passing zone. This sign supplements the pavement markings to warn you that passing is prohibited in that area due to limited sight distance. And that completes this practice test. Great job working through these questions.